they stuck together throughout the game, and they'll pay for us down the road as we continue to grow. I thought the fans were unbelievable. They were great. Everybody stayed and kept us going. There were some good things within all of it. I thought defensively we played really solid football. We had short fields at times, and the guys took care of business there. Obviously, on the offensive side, we can't have the turnover. Again, I've got to dial up something different than that. But I thought Thornton played all the way through everything. It was great to see him get a big catch there, pat on the long throw. Kelce had a nice day with the completions. I know he's upset at the last one, but we keep rolling here and keep getting better. So, and then special teams, I thought Ariza did a nice job with his punts, over a 59-yard average there, and then Nico had some nice returns there. So, all in all, though, my responsibility, and we'll get better. Time's yours. Yeah, well, the obvious answer, D, would be that we complete it, but I've got to put the guys in the right position to get that done.
I know it's a hard play to stop, but that touch push ended up being really one of the critical plays in that game. Just what you guys try to do to stop it?
Yeah, you try to get penetration is what you try to do and be able to stop it, but that's a pretty rough one. I might have had a couple of them that they got off a little early on, but we'll look at that. Yeah, listen, he's trying to get guys fired up and going. That's him. He's that way every week if you keep an eye on him. So he's all in all the time. So that's the way he was today.
Andy, what do you see? What do you think in going forward on 4th and 1 on your end of that field?
Yeah, no. Listen, they were going to stay aggressive. Likewise, I think it's important against that crew that you stay aggressive. I probably could dial up some different things there, but I think against them you've got to do that. And then I obviously thought the plays we called were available, but it didn't get done the way I wanted it. So.
And the 0-2 to start the season, I know that's not what you wanted. What's the message in the locker room? Just kind of passes.
Yeah, keep playing hard. I'll take this one. You keep playing hard. So stick together and play hard.
And the Eagles are obviously Saquon Barkley does so much what they do, but even with the attention on him, you guys did really well against the outside receivers. What do you think of just the way your secondary bounced back?
Yeah, listen, I thought Spags had a nice game plan, very aggressive, and I thought our secondary rose up to that part of it, and they've got good receivers. I thought they stayed aggressive on the receivers within the framework of things, and I just thought all around it was a good defensive performance.
Andy, when you think about Patrick running with the football, obviously it's a fine line. What are your thoughts? Do you have any concerns about him taking too many hits?
Yeah, he'd probably tell you the same thing. He trains that way. He goes after it, and he's not going to not take an opportunity if it's given. So obviously he wasn't accounted for on some of those plays, and he took advantage of it. I don't want to see him get the big hits, but he's a pretty competitive guy.
Following up on that, just QB sneaks, I know you've been trying to stay away from those, but is there any thought to bringing those back to the short yard situation?
Yeah, listen, they've got a knack for it. You look at the rest of the teams that try this thing, and it's a crapshoot there. So we thought we had some good short yardage plays there, and we just came up short on a couple.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
All right.
Just because we see it, sometimes the official is 15 feet away. Sometimes it can miss those small things, and we think he jumped multiple times. So an official didn't see it, so it wasn't called, and we just got to go play the next down.
Is that something you guys have seen on tape before as you prepared for this? Does that happen sometimes?
It happens. People jump all the time. It's just, if the officials see it, they'll call it. I don't think they've seen it, those few plays, and we didn't get a call.
Chris, 0-2 is obviously unfamiliar territory. I guess how do you guys
guys rally and right the ship?
I think this is a moment for us to even come together as a team. A little adversity is tough, but adversity builds character, and we can come together. We got the team, we got the guys to figure this out and make a change. It's only first quarter of the season. It's 2 games. You got 17 games, so it's a long journey ahead. We can figure this thing out and get back on the right track with a win next week.
You think the defense took a step forward this week after week 1?
I think we made some progression. It came out right. Big statement
today.
Still got areas we can get better
Something
in.
we can build off
but,
of.
Add him to the rotation. Glad to have him back.
Thanks, Chris. Last one.
Just more on the tush push. You faced it over and over again. How difficult is it to stop? Do you feel like you could ever find a solution for it?
We actually stopped it a couple times today.
The night air
more than
crackled
once.
with energy as Arrowhead Stadium filled with the roar of thousands. The Kansas City Chiefs were hosting the Philadelphia Eagles, a rematch of the 2025 Super Bowl, and the tension was thick enough to taste. For Travis Kelce, Kansas City's iconic tight end, the stakes were personal. For anyone who's watched football for even a single season, Kelce's fire is legendary, but on this particular Sunday, that fire threatened to burn out of control. From the opening whistle, it was clear this wasn't just another regular season game. Every snap, every tackle, every yard gained or lost felt heavy with history. The Chiefs and Eagles had faced off in New Orleans just months before, with Philadelphia clawing their way to victory and leaving the Chiefs with wounds that hadn't quite healed. As the cameras panned across the sideline, Kelce's face was a study in frustration and determination. The frustration boiled over in the second quarter. The Chiefs' offense sputtered, their rhythm repeatedly disrupted by the Eagles' relentless defense. Then, in a moment now immortalized by social media, Kelce slammed his helmet to the turf, his voice carrying across the sideline. "I'm sick of this." The outburst was raw, unscripted, and absolutely human. It was also a sign of just how much this game meant to him and to the Chiefs. But this wasn't a night for despair. Not yet. When Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs' magician of a quarterback, broke free for a 13-yard touchdown, the stadium erupted. Kelce, despite the frustration churning inside him, was right there, celebrating with his teammates, the crowd feeding off their energy. For a moment, the ghosts of New Orleans seemed to fade. Yet, the tension wouldn't stay away for long. As the game wore on, the Chiefs and Eagles traded blows, neither side willing to give an inch. The score stayed close, each possession growing in importance. Kelce, known as much for his playmaking as for his passion, was struggling to find openings against an Eagles defense that seemed to have learned every nuance of his game. And then, the moment that would haunt Kelce replayed itself in slow motion for millions of viewers. The Chiefs, trailing by a small margin, were mounting a crucial drive. Mahomes, ever the improviser, fired a dart towards Kelce near the goal line. To the shock of everyone in the stadium, the ball slipped through Kelce's hands and landed in those of Eagles safety Andrew Mukuba. Mukuba tore down the field, threatening to turn the interception into a pick-six. Only a desperate, high-speed chase by Chiefs right tackle Josh Simmons, clocked at a remarkable 18.35 miles per hour, prevented an immediate Eagles touchdown. But the damage was done. The Chiefs' hopes of reclaiming the lead had evaporated in an instant. The Eagles seemed to sense the shift in momentum. Their offense, led by the unflappable Jalen Hurts, marched methodically down the field. The drive ended with Hurts muscling into the end zone, extending Philadelphia's lead to 10 points. Arrowhead, normally a fortress of noise and intimidation, was momentarily stunned into silence. For Kelce, the night was a microcosm of the relentless pressure that accompanies greatness. Few players have accomplished as much as he has, with Super Bowl victories in 2020, 2023, and 2024 to his name. But football is a game that demands constant renewal. Past glory means little when you're staring down another defeat, especially in front of a home crowd hungry for revenge. What made the moment even more surreal was the presence of Taylor Swift in the stands. Kelce's relationship with the pop superstar had become a media sensation, adding a layer of scrutiny to every move he made. Swift, known for her poise and grace under pressure, watched quietly as the Chiefs' fortunes rose and fell with every possession. After the game, as reporters crowded around the Chiefs' locker room, Kelce was candid about his disappointment. But he was also resolute, Speaking to ESPN, he reflected on the need to move past setbacks and focus on the grind of the season. "You've got to go through the dog days and enjoy it for what it is," he said. "We're rocking and rolling, man. It's training camp, so you're going to feel the soreness and the heavy workload you're getting every day. You've got to enjoy it for what it is and fight through that." If there's one person who understands Kelce's drive better than anyone, it's Chiefs head coach Andy Reid. Reid, now 67, has seen his share of highs and lows over a storied career. In training camp, he was effusive in his praise for Kelce's work ethic and preparation. "He looks like he's 20. He's doing a great job. He's in great shape," Reid told reporters. That mutual respect has been a cornerstone of the Chiefs' recent dynasty. Reid and Kelce, together with Mahomes, have built a culture that prizes resilience as much as talent. The sting of last season's Super Bowl loss still lingers, but for this group, every setback is fuel for another run. The loss to the Eagles dropped the Chiefs to 0-2, while Philadelphia improved to 2-0. For Kansas City, the road ahead suddenly looks a little steeper. But if history is any guide, this is exactly when the Chiefs are most dangerous. Adversity has a way of sharpening their focus, uniting the locker room, and bringing out the very best in players like Kelce. The season is long, and the NFL is a league defined by its unpredictability. One week you're the hero, the next you're the target of criticism. Kelce knows this better than most. He's weathered storms before, both on and off the field. And if his past is any indication, he's not about to let a single frustrating night define his legacy. What keeps Kelce coming back, year after year, pushing through pain and disappointment? In his own words, football is the biggest driving force in his life. "I love coming out here and focusing on this and getting better for another run at hopefully a Super Bowl," he told ESPN. That singular focus, the desire not just to win but to improve, is what sets the greats apart. There's also a sense of responsibility. Kelce isn't just playing for himself. He's playing for his teammates, his coaches, the city of Kansas City, and yes, for the fans who live and die with every Chiefs game. The weight of those expectations can be crushing, but for Kelce it's a privilege. Every snap is a chance to prove that the Chiefs' run of dominance isn't over, not by a long shot. Perhaps what makes Kelce so compelling is his willingness to show emotion, to lay his frustrations bare for the world to see. In a league where stoicism is often prized, Kelce's openness is refreshing. He gets angry, he gets disappointed, but he never hides from the moment. That authenticity is part of what has made him a fan favorite, both in Kansas City and across the NFL. It's easy to forget, amid all the statistics and highlight reel catches, that football is an unforgiving game, and even the best make mistakes. For every touchdown, there's a dropped pass. For every game-winning drive, there's a heartbreaking interception. The margin between glory and heartbreak is razor thin, and nobody feels that more acutely than the players themselves. As the Chiefs left Arrowhead that night, the loss stung. There would be questions about what went wrong, about missed opportunities, and what might have been. But there would also be resolve. For Kelce, Mahomes, Reid, and the rest of the team, the season is far from over. The road to redemption runs through every practice, every meeting, every game. Kelce's story is far from finished. If anything, nights like this only add to his legend. The frustration, the setbacks, the moments of doubt, they're all part of the journey. And for fans, that journey is what makes football so endlessly captivating. We watch not just for the victories, but for the struggle, the passion, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. As the Chiefs prepare for their next challenge, one thing is certain: Travis Kelce will be at the center of the action, fighting for every yard, every catch, every chance to write a new chapter in his remarkable career. And if history is any guide, the best may be yet to come. Because in football, as in life, what matters most isn't how you fall, it's how you get back up. And if you're a Chiefs fan, you wouldn't want anyone else leading the charge.